hope you're doing well. This yoga flow video is going to be focused on Hanumanasana, so full splits, the forward or front back splits, whatever you want to call them. We're going to do a few different variations and a few poses to help open up the hamstrings and the hip flexors, the quads, the psoas, because both of those are areas that can be tight and limit our full splits. Now, if you have blocks, I highly recommend blocks, especially if you know you struggle with the full splits. If you don't have blocks, books, water bottles, anything you can hold on to will help to go underneath your hands. And again, as usual, I recommend a warm-up and a cool-down video before and after this yoga video. You can select from some of our other YouTube videos. So start in your downward facing dog. Begin to find your breath here in your down dog. Turn the toes slightly in, press the chest back, abs in. Keep your neck nice and long. And check in with your hamstrings here. Notice how they're feeling right at the beginning of your practice, because that's going to be a key component of our Hanumanasana full splits. And then look forward, hop or step lightly to the front. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. Bend your knees, come into Utkatasana, chair pose. Interlace your hands behind your back. Let's get a little chest opening. Inhale to look up, and then exhale, bow forward. See if you can straighten the legs. If not, keep a little bend in the knees. Good, now as you release the hands, take your feet apart 6 to 8 inches. Starting to work a little more into those hamstrings, peace fingers around the big toes. Padagustasana. Inhale, lengthen out the spine. Exhale as you fold, elbows go out wide, hug the shoulders away from your ears, and then pull yourself closer to your legs. And as always, if you need to bend the knees in any forward fold, just make sure you're listening to your body. Do what feels best today. Every day is a little bit different as well. Releasing the toes, lengthen your spine, slide your palms under your feet. And you definitely probably will need to bend the knees for this one. It's a little bit more challenging. So start with the knees bent, and then once you get into it, you can straighten them out. Lean the weight forward and try to stretch out the wrists a little bit. Press down through the toes and the balls of the feet. Release the hands, walk your feet back together. Inhale as you lengthen out your spine. Exhale, float or step. Chaturanga, hug your elbows in. Inhale, stretch it out in upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift the right leg up high, step it forward, low lunge. So place the back knee down. Start with your hands on your right thigh and just sink the hips forward and down. So now we're starting to stretch into that left hip flexor of the back leg, the psoas, the quads, the other hip flexor muscles. That's going to be important for our back leg in Hanumanasana. Right knee over the ankle to protect your knee. If this feels okay and you want to add a little more, reach the arms up, lift the chest up, add a little back bend, but keep the hips moving forward and down. The hips are our main focus. And then bring your hands to the floor or to your blocks. We're going to start with half splits just to get a feel for how that hamstring's feeling again. So you'll straighten the front leg, your back hip is over the knee, flex the foot, and then start to bow and just be gentle because we're still warming it up and see how this right hamstring's doing. Place your right foot back on the floor, bend the knee. Tuck the left toes, lift the knee so you can plant your hands, step back. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Then lift your left leg up high, step it forward, low lunge. Put the right knee down this time, make sure that your left knee's over your ankle. And start to drive that right hip forward and down, stretching through the front of your right hip. Hands can stay on the front thigh or reach them up and just add a little back bend. Okay, bringing the hands to the floor or to your block, straighten your front leg, flex the foot, and then bow over your left leg and check in with the left hamstring. And just again, be gentle. Notice how it's feeling here at the beginning. Place that left foot back on the floor. Bend the knee, tuck your back toe, lift the knee. Plant your hands, step back, high plank. Hug the elbows in, lower halfway, chaturanga. Inhale, flip over the feet, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Lift the right leg up high, step it forward, this time into crescent lunge. So you'll stay on the ball of the back foot. Square hips towards the front, pull the abs in, and then get low into that front leg. And you might still feel a little bit of a stretch in the hip flexor in this back leg, depending on how tight it is. Look down to the floor, airplane, Degasana. Sweep the arms back, roll the shoulders back, open your chest, flex the flying foot, level off the hips. Both hands down, standing splits. So the standing version here, hands can be on the floor, the blocks, or take one hand, try to grab behind your ankle so you can pull your nose closer to your shin. That's going to help you get deeper into the hamstring. Keep squaring through that the left hip, and lift the leg up higher without opening it up. And really use the glutes of that flying leg to lift the leg a tiny bit higher. Come up to your fingertips, bend your standing leg, keep it bent, and then come back to airplane with a bent leg. Step back, land on the ball of the foot, crescent lunge. Open it up, warrior two. Inhale as you reverse, exhale into side angle. You can keep the elbow on the thigh, or take your right hand to the floor of the block. Reach your left arm forward, hug the shoulder into the socket, neck long, maybe gazing up if that feels okay on the neck. Lift back up to your warrior two, inhale, reverse. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Lift the left leg up. Step it forward between your hands. Stay on the ball of the back foot as you come up to crescent. Square your hips towards the front, pull the abs in, and then get low into that front leg. Look down at the floor, focus your gaze, lean the weight onto your left foot, and come into airplane. Sweep the arms back, flex the right foot. Both hands to the floor. Standing splits. Use the blocks if you need them, or see if you can take your left hand, grab behind that left ankle, pull your nose closer to the shin. Lift that right leg up without opening the hip. Reach through the toes. Walk your hands forward, come back up to your fingertips, bend your standing leg, keep it bent as you sweep the arms back into a bent leg Degasana, airplane. Then step all the way back, land on the ball of the foot, crescent lunge. Open it up, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, modified or extended side angle, left elbow to the thigh or left hand to the floor. Keep reaching that right arm forward, pull the abs in, get long through your right side body. Lift up, warrior two, inhale, reverse. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Lift the right leg up. Step it forward, put your back knee down again, and this time take your front foot, walk it all the way over to the edge of your mat. If you want it turned out 45 degrees, knee still over the ankle, knee and toes pointing the same direction. Then take your right arm and peel it back. If this is as far as you go, that's okay. Stay there, or try to grab onto that back foot. Lean back, get your heel towards your butt, and then sink it down. So we're going for the quad stretch, not the back bend, so we want to keep pulling that foot in as close as we can to the butt. If you feel like you need more of a quad stretch, drop down to the left form, keep your chest spinning open to the side, and pull your heel in closer. That's going to also help with that back leg in the splits. Couple deep breaths here. Let go of your back foot. Now the front toes are turned out, so I want you to turn them back in so they point forward. Knee still over the ankle, lizard pose. Both elbows down on the inside of your right foot. If they don't reach, you could stay up on your hands or you can use your blocks. And let's keep the back leg down for now. Just take a couple more deep breaths into the right outer hip. And then see if you can tuck the back toe, lift the knee, maybe a couple more deep breaths there. And then press up to your hands. Step back, chaturanga, low push-up. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Other side, lift the left leg up. Step it forward. Put your right knee down, walk the left foot to the left, right to the edge of the mat. Turn it out 45 degrees, double check, knee over ankle, knee and toes pointing the same direction. Then peel that left arm back, kind of like a twist. Maybe stay there or grab the foot. Lean your butt back. Get your heel towards your butt, then sink it back down. Maybe drop to the right forearm. If you did so on the other side, keep pulling that heel in to stretch the quad. Gently let go of the back foot. Now check out your front foot, turn it back in. All 5 toes point forward, knee over the ankle, lizard pose. Elbows down, hands down, or maybe a block to the inside of that left foot, stretching through the left outer hip. And see if you can tuck the back toe, lift the knee, last couple deep breaths. Come all the way up to your hands and then step it back. Chaturanga again, low push-up. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. All right, we're ready for our Hanumanasana. Lift the right leg up, step it forward. Put your left knee down. Now again, you might want those blocks for underneath your hands, okay? Just do your best, don't force it. This class might be required to repeat it many times before you actually get to the full splits, okay? It takes practice. But start with the half splits, straighten that front leg, and then just start to wiggle it forward, a couple inches at a time until you go as far as you can. So you might be off the floor with your hands on the floor of the blocks. If you get all the way down, just keep squaring your hips. Flex the front foot wherever you're at, the bony parts of your hips point forward. So it helps if you tuck the back toe, lift the knee, turn those hips forward, and then set it back down. You can also glance back and just make sure the whole top of the foot and knee is on the mat. So you don't want to be leaning off to one side, right in the middle. So this is safer, okay? Now you're going to feel it hamstring, calf of the front leg, hip flexor, psoas, quads of the back leg. Depending on what area is tighter, you might feel it more in one spot than the other, and that's normal, and that's the area you just got to work on a little bit more to open up. If you're all the way on the floor, arms up, maybe gaze up for a little back bend. Right, hands back down if they were lifted. Even if your hands are on the blocks and you want to fold, you can fold. Bring your nose towards your front leg. And then walk your hands back in. To come out of it, tuck your back toe, lift your knee, just kind of wiggle that front leg back. And lift it up to three-legged dog. Open the hip, shake it out, make some circles, move it around. Downward facing dog. Left leg up, step it forward. Okay, now one side is going to be very different than the other. So don't worry if it's not exactly the same right now. Start with that half split, straighten the front leg, flex the foot, and then scoot it a couple inches forward at a time until you're as far as you can. Use any props you need to under your hands. Sink down as low as you can. Flex the front foot, square the hips to the front. Tuck that back toe, lift the knee, lift it up, square a little more, and then sink it back down. And double check, take a look at it. Sometimes our body does things we don't realize, so it's always good to look at it, make sure it's doing what you want it to do. Chest up high. So we're starting upright first, so just a little bit different variation. So upright or folding forward. Upright gets more into the hip flexor, folding forward more into the hamstring. If you don't need the hands, arms up, add a little back bend, gaze up. If your arms are up, bring them back down. And then if you'd like to fold forward, especially if you did so on the other side, it's good to try to balance it out. Walking the hands out and just bring your nose towards your front leg. walk your hands back in. Plant your hands, tuck your back toe, lift the knee, start to slide that front leg back, shake it out, three-legged dog, open it up, and then meet in downward facing dog. So I hope you guys enjoyed that practice. I hope you made a little bit of progress on your full splits, but if not, don't worry. As long as you keep repeating this and other yoga videos, your hamstrings, your hip flexors, quads are all going to slowly get more open with time, and you'll notice your Hanumanasana gets closer and closer to the floor.